My Bali visa scare and two strangers that gave me $733. You guys, I am blown away. I've literally gone through so many emotions today and gone from desperate prayers to weeping to crying in gratitude, and I feel emotionally exhausted to say the least. So I am sitting here at Kuala Lumpur Airport and in between on a layover from Bali to Kuala Lumpur to Thailand to Phuket. So to give you a bit of backstory, I this isn't my first time in Bali, it's my second time, and I was there April, May, June, and I had the 30-day visa, which I got when I arrived, and then I extended online, no problem, stayed the less than 60 days, and then left, no problem, no issues with the visa, etc. This time, I thought it was the exact same thing. And I had the 30-day visa, paid the $35, got the second visa online, just like I did before, and thought I was A OK. So, and also paid $35 again. So imagine my surprise when I get through security, I'm going through immigration, scanning my passport, and it's red and it says go see an officer. And the officer right away is like, yeah, you overstayed your visa. And he shows me in my passport that it's manual. And I said, yes, but I got my second visa just like last time. Here's my second visa, etc. Paid the $35, did it before the expiration date. He says, no, 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 it doesn't matter. So listen to this. It doesn't matter that you got the second visa. One was manual. So this is the key difference between my first time and my second time. The first time, the visa was apparently, even though I got it on arrival manually when I got there, it was electronic. This time, because the agent did not scan my passport, it was a manual visa. And apparently, even though it's the exact same fee, even though it's a 30-day visa, they count it as a different visa. One is manual, one is electronic, even though they're both 30 days, even though they both cost $35. So even though I had that second visa in hand, the officer right away is like, no, 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 you will be paying a fine of 1 million rupiah, basically $60 per day that you overstayed. And this visa, the second visa you bought during your time here, is invalid. You can only use it when you come back to Bali. So I start literally praying, thinking of favor. How can this situation turn around? Because you guys, it's 18 days, so it was roughly about $1,200. I don't know about you, but $1,200 of something unexpected like that is like whoa. Not to mention they do not take card; they only take cash. So you and I both know if you have one card, then the ATM limit is 400 ish dollars, depending on the currency, depending on the bank, etc. So I tell the officer that right away, the lady that was helping me. I said, I know you're just doing your job, but is there anything you can do considering I did not try to overstay? I got a second visa, etc. She's like, no, no, no. And we only take cash. And like, she's like, I said, well, my bank isn't going to let me pull $1,200 in Bali. And she said, well, can you just try? And do you only have one card? I said, yes. And as it is, I will be borrowing some of this money because I did not expect to pay $1,200. I'm deeply, deeply, deeply grateful for beyond help of family, etc. in my life. And I'm sure many of you are. And so she's like, at least try. And I said, okay. So I was able to pull about 460-ish dollars, roughly about 7 million rupiah in Bali, which is 11 million short because my fine, 1 million per day times 18. So I come with the 7 million and she's like, we've called the airline. We'll see if they can help you. Maybe they can transfer. You can transfer to them electronically, etc. So literally at that point, you guys just in the middle of circumstances, like, let's be real. Uh, Being a creator, one of the reasons why I travel the world is yes, I love it and the adventure, but also it's a lot cheaper than the United States, especially when you are aligning to purpose, especially when the cost of living is two, three, four, 5 times higher than it was in 2020, especially when you are paying off debt. Like, let's be honest, let's be real. And I do not like Four Seasons. When I spent a winter in Atlanta a couple years ago, even though it's nothing like New York or London or Russia, just naming some countries, it still impacted my mood, my productivity so much. Like, I'm a vitamin D girl through and through. So anyway, so I just at that point break down. Like, I'm just sitting on the side. The immigration officers are very different than what I'm used to with the Balinese culture. Like, this is my second time in Bali, 2 months straight. Like, they are very warm, very caring, very engaging. And right away, I said to him, and I came up like, Om Swastiastu, Salamat Siang, like, greeted him. And he was like super matter of fact, not at all like the last immigration officer I had when I was leaving Bali the last time. And interestingly enough, that time I overstayed my 60-day visa by 1 day, and he was so nice. And I was like praying, like, if there's any issue with these different types of visas, like, God, please give me that kind of favor. I didn't know it was coming up in this story. So listen up. So I just break down. I start crying and I'm upset. And I'm like, $1,200? Like, I don't have that right now. Literally, like figuratively, I don't have it. And the second I don't have it, it's causing me to even rise up beyond fears and limitations and boundaries, gifts, talents, and abilities, all the things. And I'm like, please, God, you've showed me that you're real so many times, but please, like, do a miracle out of this. Like, please just do something that completely blows my mind. Okay. So I go back and they're like, we've called the airline. The agent comes back. Actually, when I'm walking back, there was an agent from Singapore Airlines, and she tried to help me. But she's like, maybe, I was like, I'll switch to Singapore if you can help me. And she's like, maybe your airline, Boutique Air, which really showed up for me, you guys, and held the flight, which completely redeemed a situation that I had with them in Singapore. So the young man comes. His name is like, starts with a B. It's super hard. I wrote it down, but he's like, no, I don't have 11 million rupiah. I checked with my supervisor. Because our banks are national, international, it would take at least 3 days for us to get your money. So we can't risk it. We can't let you leave the country and give you that kind of money. Like, it was roughly around $733 exactly, to be exact, with what these amazing VJ and Nipur ended up gifting me. You guys, gifting me, like, blows my mind. And so then they tell me, well, just go ask some of the people that are leaving immigration, and maybe they have cash and they have enough, and then you can just PayPal them. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, this is super humbling. And keep in mind, at that point, my flight is leaving in less than like 40 minutes. So I asked some people at the immigration desk, and apparently they're used to this. Like, apparently this happens all the time. And there was a lady that was going back to Australia that had overstayed like over 30 days, had emailed, no responses. Another one also, like, her fine was 28 million. So you guys, Indonesia does not play. Like, do not overstay. Like, leave the country. If you have different types of visas or you don't have an official extension, manual to manual, electronic to electronic. So then the first couple I ask at the gate, and I'm like, I know this is going to sound crazy. I have 2 visas, but apparently they're not recognizing the second visa, even though it's the exact same fee. They're charging me a fine of about $1,200. Do you have any cash that I can PayPal you? He's like, how much do you need? I'm like, technically like $733, but like whatever. He like hands me his like extra cash that he has. So the other thing is, you guys, I want you to watch this video all the way to the end, and I want you to save and share it, and I want you to pay it forward. Like, I want this to be a movement to pay it forward, because people are amazing. People are really amazing, and I feel like we really need that in this day and age and in today's world more than ever. So then I ask a second couple, like, I move to the line, like right next to where the immigration officer is, and people are waiting, and I ask another couple. And they just kind of look at me like I'm batshit crazy, which I know I looked and sounded like. Then I moved to the third group of travelers, and it was Vijay and Nupur. And literally, you guys, like, I'm still blown away in gratitude, like in the answer of to my prayer. because I explained to them the same thing. I said, listen, I was in Bali 60 days. I stayed 30 days. Apparently they issued a manual visa. I did a second electronic visa. Apparently, even though it's the same fee, same 30 days, they don't recognize it the same, and they're charging me an 18-day overstay. I give them the summary. I was able to pull 7 million. I need 11 million. Like, anything and everything you can do to help, I can PayPal you, like, clear, etc. They're like, how much do you need? I'm like, 733, 11 million. So right away, they're like, where's the immigration officer that you've been talking to? Let's go talk to them. And Napur tells me, he's like, Vijay does a lot of business in Jakarta. He knows, they were from India, from Mumbai. And he said, he speaks Indonesian. Like, maybe he can do something. Maybe he can negotiate the fee down. Like, he's used to doing a lot of different things in this country. So he goes and talks to the officer, and I can tell right away, like, it's a different vibe. Of course, I don't know what they're saying, but I can tell it's a different spirit, it's a different vibe. And he says, no, I wasn't able to negotiate it down. And, he asked me again, how much do you have? I said, 7 million. So they're like, come, let's go to the cash machine. And keep in mind, at that point, it's like 12:10, and my flight is supposed to leave at 12:45 to go to Kuala Lumpur to get a connecting flight to Phuket, to Thailand. And between the two of them, they're changing the cash, the $730-ish, 733, 11 million rupiah. And I asked them right away, I'm fiddling with the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi isn't working so good in the airport. And I said, what's your PayPal? And so I can PayPal you right away. And Nupur is like, hold on, let us get it sorted. And I was thinking to myself in that moment, like, that divine download came to me. I was like, wait, because you know how sometimes you have this transfer of energy with people and you feel like something is, but it isn't, and you're not exactly sure. And so I was like, wait a minute, are these two strangers trying to gift me $700 to $800 right now? And I was like, is this an answer to my prayer? And I start to get emotional, like, inside. And I'm like, let me be sure, because I don't want them to think like this is what I think. And I don't want to come across at all as entitled, as this is owed to me. At the same time, I'm feeling like all these things, like, I am worthy of this. You are worthy of this. We are worthy as a human race to take care of people in whatever way we're able to, whether that's to help somebody cross the street, help a lady carry her bags, whether that's to gift strangers 100, 500, 1,000, $10,000 because they need it and because you have it. And so he's sorting it, right? And then I ask, they're finishing up, etc., and they hand it to the officer, that's the airline officer, and he's like, no, give it to her because she has to give the total to immigration. So he gives it to me. So then VJ gives it, all of it, to me. And I, made sure I spelled their names right, everything, because I was like, I want to, I want to remember you, like, forever. Like, is it possible that you're like angels sent from heaven? Like, that was the second or third thing I said to them, and then I repeated it then. And then I asked VJ, and I'm like, what's your PayPal, so I can PayPal you the money. And him and Napur, like, they're so in alignment with spirit, and like, no, they're like, no, we're not giving you our PayPal. Like, this is our gift to you. You can have it. We just ask you that however you decide to share it, however you decide to tell people, and that you pay it forward. That you pay it forward. So that was my request in the beginning, is like, save and share this video. And I'm calling out to the beautiful souls to save and to share this video, but also to pay it forward, like, in whatever that way it is. Whether that is, like, when I was on the plane, I had excess cash from what I withdrew that was left over, because I had like 7.5 million and they gave me 11. So I had 500,000 rupiah. So 2 or 3 times I gave the flight attendant my money, and I bought, say, like, cashew nuts, and then I let her keep the change. And I'm like, whoever needs it, however they need it, I don't care. Like I said, this is what happened to me. Two complete strangers gifted me $733, like, and just asked me to pay it forward. So this is me in this moment paying it forward. And the other thing I want to challenge you on, to reframe your thinking. Nothing, no act of kindness is too small. A smile can completely change someone's life. I've seen it firsthand. Like, I've seen how people respond to smiles all around the world. And a smile is understood everywhere in the world. So, one, comment down below, save and share. 2, pay it forward. Like, this is my call to you as beautiful souls in a world that needs it more and more and more. And so I will continue to share stories how I pay it forward too, uh, because and I kept tearing up like this too. So in any event, hit subscribe if you haven't yet, and let's